Hi, welcome to Craft Room Time. We're going to be putting together the 3D Blue Bird, and you can get the free SVG at craftroomtime.com. So here we go. Hi, we're going to be showing you how to make the Blue Bird. So you would upload the image and go to Browse. Wherever you saved it on your computer, it's going to be the SVG. Go ahead and open it and upload it. And then select it so it has the green box around it and click on Insert Image. And then when it comes in, it's already sized an 8.43 by an 8.093, which should be plenty big to cut on an 8.5 by 11. If you'd like it bigger, you can do that for sure. Just make sure that it's within the bounds of the 12 by 12. I'm going to go ahead and look at it and see if maybe I can come out a little bit bigger. Not really, because you have that 1/2 inch tolerance. You may be able to make it just a tad bit bigger, but to be on the safe side, I'd just leave it at that size that it came in at. Okay, now to make this guy 3D, I'm going to show you how we're going to pull it apart. So click on the image and then ungroup up here in the top right corner. And then we'll pull it apart one by one. So I'm going to start with the wings. So you have the intricate piece here, and then you have the blue underneath it, which fits, and so you can see it as like, it gives like an outline border. Okay, and then you have the full bird itself, which is the background. Okay, and then we have the breastplate and the belly and the tail. Those are all the top layers, as well as the wings. And then this is another piece that goes right on here that all those other pieces will lay on top of. Okay, so if you're using foam dots, you're putting the foam dots on the back of these pieces and then adhering them to this. Okay, this piece stands alone and it's only one piece. There is no other piece that goes on top of it. All right, and now we'll look at the head. Okay, so when the head comes apart, there's the little part that goes underneath his eye. It's his little cheek is what I'll call it. Let's pull it down a little bit further. Then we have this piece right here that gives you the 3D effect. And then we have the bottom, another layer for the 3D, and then we have the bottom. Okay, we have the little beak, which is only one piece, and then we have the eye, which sits on top of a little white piece. And if that is too little for your Cricut to cut, then you can go ahead and just contour the little dot out by hitting the contour button and then selecting this little piece right here, and then exit, and then you'll see there's no more little white spot, and then you would just glue these two together. When I cut mine, it was a little too small, so I made the hole a little bigger, and so I didn't need to contour it out. But I'm going to put it back just to show you. Okay, so those two will go together and you'll just glue those together. Okay, so now I want to show you how you're going to put it all together. With the 3D, you know to turn this over and put your little foam dots in the strategic places so that it'll show, appear to be 3D. Always put it on the back of the piece that you're putting on top. Now for this blue piece, you're going to want to make sure that it's on this wing spot right there. So you see that there's a line all the way around it. You see that? So it doesn't touch, okay, anywhere on here, it doesn't touch the ends of this blue piece. Okay, that's because it sits underneath here so that you can see the blue behind it. So when you put your glue dots on the back of this, just strategically place them in the areas that they'll fit, and then you can cut some of the bigger glue down, the foam dots down, and put them along here, or you can use the micro dots. Or if you don't want to mess with all that, you can just glue it straight on. Okay, so now this piece is going to line up perfectly with the background. So you won't see any of the light blue under there. You'll only have those layers as they are shown right there. The next piece you're going to put on is this other piece, full piece that has the wing and the belly and the tail. And you'll put foam dots underneath it as well. And then the next piece that you're going to want to put on is the wings, and you'll put your foam dots in these little spots right here. You can also just glue this right onto here if this is too little for you to use the foam dots on. Okay, then you'll set that on top of there. Okay, then the next piece we're going to do is the head. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to assemble this all together off of the bird and put one on top of the other with the foam dots. Okay, and then remember this little piece goes right underneath here, forms the eyeball, where the eyeball goes. All right, now you've already glued the black onto the white. I suggest you do that right when you take them off of the mats so you don't lose them. And then that will glue right on that piece right there, and just glue it. Don't worry about dots. It doesn't need to be 3D. All right, so there we have the whole head. I'm going to go ahead and group this right now so I can strategically put it back on the body. So now if you are doing 3D, you only need to put your foam dots on this side of the head and on the back side of the whole thing, but on this half of the head. And then you're going to want to glue the other half here onto here. Okay, that will hold all of this together. And this is already 3D, and this is not. So that will give this the 3D. Okay, and then you'll lay it down here, and it should fit right on top, like right where you put the wings. It'll fit right there. These little pieces line up right here. All right, and then you'll just glue the little beak on, and it goes right inside of here, right under there. That's exactly where it goes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring this to the front. Send to front. So I can show you that it fits right inside there. Right inside there. Okay, and you're just gluing this piece on. Okay, the next piece is the breastplate. So you're going to have your foam dots on the other side, and you're going to lay it down just like a puzzle piece right inside of there. And then you're going to lay your foam dots on the other side here in strategic places as well. And then adhere it right in that spot right there. This is just like putting together a puzzle piece, okay? And then this tail piece fits right inside of there. And this will fit up against the piece we just laid down. And then it will also show the blue underneath it right here. So you're not putting this up against the edge. You're going to make sure that you can see the blue underneath it. You can go even up a little bit higher. There we go. Now you can see the blue all around. And that's what gives the bird the 3D look. All right? So now it's perfectly done. I'm going to go ahead and just group it together just so I can move it over and show you. Then we'll go to make it. And you'll see on your screen your mats, and you have your little white eyeball, your little black eyeball. You have your orange or coral or pink or whatever color you like to do. I know that sometimes these are done in pink for the nostalgic vintage look. And then I'm going to look at my other piece. I think I can move this around and save some paper maybe. I'm using 8.5 by 11, so I want to make sure that I'm in those boundaries. I think that's probably good enough, and then just move these guys over so I'm not wasting paper. All right. And then also at this point, make sure that, you know, your you've got your blue selected that you wanted your paper to be. That looks just fine. Now this one I'm going to have to move around because I'm using the 8.5 by 11, so I'm going to have to move it around so that it won't go off the paper. That should be good. And then I'll probably just move my paper over just a smidgen so that that doesn't get cut off. And then I'll move these over here so I'm not wasting paper. Might be able to move this around a little bit more. It's just whatever you want to do. Whatever you feel comfortable doing. It may not work. Okay, that should be fine. And then we'll look at the last one, and I think I probably can save some space here. Move that up. Rotate that one around. Move this over here. Rotate it around. Then get this piece in here a little bit closer. Okay, see, we saved a lot of paper doing it that way. All right, then go ahead and go to continue. It'll look for your machine or select your machine. All right, now for intricate cuts, I like to use glitter cardstock. I find that that one cuts the best. And then I select the more pressure. Okay, and then you'll go ahead and load your machine, cut all your pieces. This is how we're going to put together the 3D Blue Bird. Okay, we're using the tacky glue as well as the foam dots mini and the regular sized. We'll see how that goes, as well as I use the weeding tool to sometimes you get the mini dots. The eyeball has the black and the white, and I've already glued that together, and I do that right off the mat so I don't lose it because they're such small pieces. Okay, I did add an additional I don't know, a breastplate so that I could 3D it. I know in the previous video I said there was only one, but I did make two. I'm saving the little cutout from here so I can add it to the tail and to make him look like he's flying. So we'll set that one aside because that one's not really needed for this right at this moment. And now I'm going to show you how I assemble the product together, what goes first and all of that. So I'm going to start with the wing, and I'm going to go ahead and attach the two wings together. This one goes on top of the blue, and we'll line it up with the ends here to make sure that it's covered. Now the blue piece is a little bit shorter, and that's fine. It's just because it's just going to show through here to give it more of a 3D look. So I'm going to turn this piece over and put the dots on here for the 3D look. And I'm just going to place them where they're not going to be seen. And I will tell you that sometimes I do cut these to make them smaller, so I will just cut it right, I'll cut them right in half. So I have some smaller ones to put in the smaller places. And then that's what the weeding tool comes in handy, just to pick it off of there and stick it right on where you need it. So you probably need the smaller ones for these wings because they are pretty tiny in this area. But this does make it really simple. I actually prefer doing that to then using the micro dots because these are very tiny and you have to pull the top off, the plastic piece off, then apply it, and it just seems to be a little bit harder, so I find this much easier to use just the cut pieces. It's got extra on there. That's fine. We'll get that off in a minute. And then since they're rectangular, they are covering more area. All right, then the next piece we're going to put in place is this long piece right here, and it goes right along the bottom here. So I'm going to flip it over and put my dots on. Then we'll go ahead and we'll put together this part on top of here. Okay, now this is an intricate piece as well, so I'm going to flip it over. Oh, I do see that this didn't pull out. Let me get that out of there. There we go. All right, so I'm going to use some of these smaller ones again. You can also just glue this piece down. It is pretty small, so you could just glue it on there. That would be fine too. Okay, I'm not going to worry about this side right here, and I'll show you why in just a second. We're going to hold that down with the bird's head. All right, let's go ahead and put on the face now so you can see how that's going to work. All right, so bottom, middle, top, little chin, and then his eyeball and his beak. Okay, so let's get these turned over. And probably only need 3 for this guy. Okay, and then get him lined up on here. Okay, then we'll do this one on the back side. Get him laid down. Okay, and put that on top of there. Okay, and then we're going to just glue down the eyeball, and I'm using tacky glue. That cleaned off a little bit, and it goes right on top of here. So I'm going to put a dab of glue right there. Not a whole lot, just a tiny bit. Okay, and then I'm going to put my eyeball down. I should be able to move it around. Position it right on that spot. Okay. All right, and then the little breast piece, or the chin piece goes right under there, and I am just going to glue that on. That does not need to be 3D. It's just giving it a color so it has more depth. And that just fits right underneath the eye. Right there, and right there. And what it does is it's giving the beak a little place to sit right there. So we're going to go ahead and glue the little beak on. Right in there. Okay. The tacky glue dries pretty fast, and it is a very good adhesive, so it works really well. Okay, so now when this guy is sitting on top, See what I said? He's going to sit on top of here, so I'll hold that down. So you do not need to put any dots on this side. We're going to glue that, and then we'll put the dots on this side so that it'll raise up on the blue here to match the raised up here part. So I'm going to turn this over. So let that dry first. I'm just doing this for the video purposes. Okay, so I'm going to just put the dots on that side right there. And then I'm going to put glue on the other side so it'll hold that other side of the wing down. Okay, right here. We'll just put a glue dot right there. Just like that. Okay. And then he lines up his little wing, his little head lines up right here to the end of the wing, and then it obviously goes around that way. Okay, so let's start with that. Let me make sure it's all the way down in the right place before we stick it down. So you can check on the back to make sure that it's not poking out, and it's good. So I'm just going to push them down now. And that'll glue and hold all of that together. All right, there we go. That's good with that. Okay. All right, now we have the breastplate. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these two together. Part that came out of here, and just stick it on the end so you can see the keys fluttering away, or up on the wings, or you can cut a couple extra ones, but I think that's really cute. So I hope you enjoyed making the little bluebird with me, and be sure to comment below, and you can see the supplies that you need for the bird, and more instructions, and everything in the description below. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you get notifications. And you'll find the free SVG on craftdreamtime.com. And I will be seeing you again in a future video for learning how to do more of 3D designs.